Have you ever wondered why your garden is not producing like it used to, even though you're watering, feeding, and doing everything right? Or maybe pests keeps returning to the same spot year after year. It might just be what you're planting or where you're planting it. Today I'll show you why crop rotation could be the best technique for your home garden and how you can start using it immediately, even in a small space. Crop rotation is a simple practice of growing different types of plants in the same space across different seasons or years. Meaning, if I'm growing pepper in this space this season, when I am done with that pepper and I want to plant something else, I cannot come back here again and plant pepper in this same spot. I have to rotate it. I have to plant something else on this bed other than pepper, and I'll tell you why. Every crop you plant interacts with the soil differently. Some feed it, some drain it, and some cleanse it. Some also attract or repel pests. So rotating crops helps balance these interactions to keep your soil alive, fertile, and productive. Why does crop rotation matter? Let me break it down with real examples from my own garden. Crop rotation stops pests and diseases. Pests and fungi often target specific plant family. For example, if you always plant tomatoes in one spot, guess who also keeps coming back? Yeah, whiteflies, nematode, fungal wilt. I learned this the hard way, especially with my cherry tomato planted on this bed. And it was planted 3 seasons in a row. By the third time, I was only able to get these 2 fruits that I'm eating from my garden, and this is the first harvest. But once I rotated with onions, pepper, and green amaranth, this bed came back to life. Same thing happened with corn. If you've planted corn in a particular spot, after each harvest, do not plant corn again in this same spot. You will not get the same yield that you got the first time. Instead, you will get a pest infested plant just like this before you get to the harvest stage. And by then the damage has been done. So if you've planted corn in the same spot over and over again without rotation, this will likely happen to your plant. So what I did was I treated the plants organically, and after the season I planted lettuce in that space. Of course, I amended the soil and planted lettuce in that space, and in no time my lettuce was looking so good, so fresh, very healthy, disease and pest free, looking so fresh. And this brings me to the second thing that crop rotation does. It balances soil nutrients. Different crops use different nutrients. Leafy crops like lettuce, ugu, or green amaranth need nitrogen. Fruit crops like peppers, they need phosphorus and potassium, while root crop like radish prefers loose soil with balanced nutrients. And then legumes like beans actually add nitrogen to the soil. By rotating these plant groups, your soil doesn't get tired, it stays naturally balanced. Deep-rooted crops like moi moi leaf will help loosen any compact soil. And over time, your soil becomes more workable, retains moisture better, and supports healthier roots. The soil is loose and rich. And I hope this doesn't sound complicated, because it's as easy as it sounds. Even if you're growing in a small space like in a container, you can still rotate it. Yes, even if you're growing in sack bags, crop rotation can work. So for example, if you've planted ugu in a pot or you've planted pepper in a pot, after you are done with that ugu plant, by the end of the growing season, do not plant ugu in that same container. Plant something like tomatoes or peppers. Honestly, this is what has been keeping my garden growing with food every year, all year round. This is what I do. I was looking at this space and this client was complaining about her spinach not doing so well because it's looking like this. But the first time she planted, it was so healthy. But by the time she replanted in the same spot, look at how unhealthy the plant looks. When you start rotating your crops, this is what you'll notice. Your yield will improve and you won't have to fertilize as much. You'll also reduce pest pressure and your soil will feel softer, richer and more alive. It's like nature started working with me and not against me. This technique made me fall deeper in love with gardening because I wasn't constantly fixing soil problem or plant problem. I was building a system that worked on its own. If you want a garden that feeds you season after season, year after year, if you're tired of fighting pests, sick plants or poor harvest, start rotating your crops. It's one of the easiest, smartest habits any home gardener can adopt. And you don't need a big space, you just need a plan, a little patience, and a deep respect for your soil. Let me know in the comments the challenges you are facing in your garden right now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.